Hans Urs von Balthasar. Pay attention to how you hear. No one, after lighting a lamp, hides it under a jar or puts it under a bed, but puts it on a lampstand so that those who enter may see the light. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, nor is anything secret that will not become known and come to light. Then pay attention to how you hear. For to those who have, more will be given, and from those who do not have, even what they seem to have will be taken away. Luke 6:16-18. Jesus' admonition presupposes that the same thing can be heard in different ways. Not how I want to hear something, but what it wants to say makes all the difference in hearing rightly. What it says when we are dealing with Jesus' gospel is not something private, but something that affects the entire world. Not something particular, but something universal and Catholic. Jesus' words are necessarily particular, definite words, but their import is the totality, not the particular. If he truly is the incarnate Word of God, then that word always contains a divine, unbounded meaning, a world-encompassing scope, in contrast to other limited human words. This belongs to his being, and therefore also to his intent. In him there is nothing hidden that will not someday be made manifest, nothing secret that shall not be known and come to light. This dynamic tendency within the Word establishes the right way to hear. There is a perverse inclination to hear it as a word directed to me personally and applying to no one else, thinking that I have heard it in an especially intense and existential way. In fact, one thereby turns the basket of one's private existence upside down over the word, acting as if one were the individual intended by the word, apart from the mass of people who would misunderstand it anyway. Practically speaking, this privatization leads to two results. Having placed the lamp under the bed, one falls asleep while the flame, treated in such a manner, burns out for lack of oxygen. The word is heard properly when its light is placed on a lampstand so that whoever enters can see it. Those who enter my life should catch sight neither of me nor of the way I have utilized the light. Rather, they should see the light itself. My life then becomes the lampstand underneath the light, a utensil that attracts no attention, a structure whose purpose is to make the light visible to all who approach. Only when one places the light so that it can shine forth does one really have the light, for oneself and for others. Then it can be said, "To whomever has, it shall be given." He has the light, to be sure, but he does not give it to himself. Rather, it must be given away by him, which can only happen if he desires it, not for himself alone, but for all who will permit him to give it to them. To wish to receive it for oneself alone is an attitude that inwardly contradicts any receiving. Jesus' concluding words say this with complete clarity. From him who has not shall be taken that which he thinks he has. Supposing oneself to have something for oneself is a subjective deception. Sooner or later, one becomes objectively dispossessed. This series of sayings concisely reveals much about the universality of the incarnate Word of God. First, it shows how astonishingly confident Jesus was that the truly mysterious words which he spoke to his uncomprehending disciples in a remote corner of Galilee have the inner force to penetrate into all time and space. Furthermore, these same words have the power to burst the bounds of his hearers' hearts, turning them into preachers to the entire world. What I say to you in obscurity, you shall proclaim in broad daylight. What I whisper in your ear, you shall preach from the rooftops. This applies not only to those days in Galilee, but also to every word whispered into the heart of a disciple in prayer, contemplation, and devotion, words that he must present openly through word or example as a witness for all genuine truth. For here, too, hearing is what matters. Not only what one hears, but also how one hears it.